Fresh rain just came down. In fact, it was quite a downpour. And I can't find a better metaphor for this video content than being caught in the rain. For those who don't know, I'm Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33 here on YouTube. And I talk about facing our own shadow on this channel. I talk about confronting the unconscious darkness within ourselves, confronting our own limiting beliefs, and shining light on the shadows within us so that we can heal those parts of us, so that we can heal and integrate those parts of us so that something greater can express itself through us in integrity. And anybody who's been on this work of healing familiar wounds, familiar stories, familiar patterns that you've seen in your life that kept you stuck in a certain way of being, kept you stuck in an identity that brought suffering into your existence. You know how hard this work is. And a big part of this journey is learning self-trust. And you learn self-trust by keeping promises to yourself, keeping small promises to yourself on a consistent basis. But there's times when the circumstances of your world trigger you. No matter how much work you've done, no matter how much you've shifted internally, there's those occasional times when what you're seeing, what you're perceiving out there just gets so intense that that old wound opens up. The old story starts replaying in your mind and it gets really loud. And you have those moments that you break those promises to yourself. And the temptation is, in those moments, is to go back into feeling defeated, feeling a sense of hopelessness, feeling that whatever you've been carrying, whatever burden that you've been carrying, and you felt like you were finally lightening that burden, that you're doomed to carry it forever. But what I find is that when you give yourself permission to acknowledge what's going on, to accept what you're perceiving in that moment, to feel what's coming up and coming through you, no matter how unpleasant it is, you get a sense of freedom in that. You get a sense of freedom in knowing that it's okay to have those moments. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you failed. It simply means you're human. And sometimes the temptation is to want to bypass those moments of discomfort because they are really fucking uncomfortable. When you hit those times when those old wounds are triggered. And the tendency is to want to bypass it and immediately start telling yourself a positive story in the hopes of making it all go away. But what I find, that just creates more resistance. You're attempting to drown yourself in toxic positivity in order to escape something. It doesn't work. But what I found is by giving myself permission to feel what needs to be felt, not to wallow in it, but simply to feel it, feel the emotions that are coming up, that are getting stirred up from the circumstances around, whether that be anger, whether that be guilt, whether that be apathy. Just allow that emotion to be felt and ask the question, what is this emotion teaching me right now? What does this emotion have for me in this moment? And know that the emotion's going to pass. The uncomfortable feelings don't stay forever. They don't define who you are. They don't define your self-worth. And even when you have those times when you broke that promise to yourself, it doesn't mean you're a permanent failure. It's an invitation to allow what needs to be felt, allow it to pass, and then you pick yourself up again and you keep going. Because the clouds, at some point, they're going to break, and the sun is always shining behind the clouds, even if you can't perceive it, even if you can't see it right now. The sun shines through the rain. And know that as long as you orient that way, the sun's going to shine on you again, and you're going to gain some wisdom from that moment. And you don't collapse. You feel, you heal, you pick yourself up, and you keep going. And I'm Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33, and I'll see you on the other side.